first and foremost, because we have to decide, what does being back to work really mean? Where do I have to do that from? How do I do things differently? That includes our environment, that includes our meetings. I think it's been really interesting during COVID, since we have been doing Zoom meetings and different types of meetings. They have been shorter. We've been getting more done in a shorter period of time, and everyone has really enjoyed that. So it's in fact improved our productivity. Now, having said that, we are human beings and we are communal by nature. And so that means we like being together. So even though teleworking is great, we still need that human interaction. So I think businesses are going to really be focused on, how do we do both and how do we really work? I think what I'm most concerned around this fall is a couple of things. Number one is the human psyche. How are we going to live through the summer? And how do we not give up? And I think it's going to be important to figure that out. We have had a ton of learnings during the COVID crisis. We were very adaptable. We made decisions quickly. If those weren't the right decisions, we changed those decisions, and we kept iterating. Having said that, we also have to be aware that you can't run at 100 miles an hour continuously. So what we are really focused on is how to become a corporate athlete. And when you think about a corporate athlete and you think about athletics, people who train, you don't train for a marathon by running 26 miles a day. You train for a marathon by running sprints, recovering. So it's all about sprinting and recovering. And I think what we learned the most during the COVID crisis was how to sprint. Now we're going to learn a little bit how to recover, but what I don't want to lose is, how do we do those sprints and recover it, be very adaptable, change things if we need to. And I think for the business community, as we reopen, we have to think that way. So another great opportunity for our community is a concept of business tourism. Living in a very large city is not the coolest thing in the world anymore. And we've always been focused on, how do we attract corporate offices, the buildings, the bricks and mortars. Bricks and mortars are going to look very different from a working perspective. So instead of, how do I attract the corporate office, how do I just attract the people? One of the things as leaders now is that we really have to live in ambiguity. We have to come to realize that we can't think about things in the same way. We got to come at it from the completely other direction. And the other thing as a leader that I have learned personally is, how do I work on my personal resilience? How do I make sure not only my people are okay, but that I'm okay? What are those things that I need to do to make sure I'm grounded? How do I make sure that I have people I can say, hey, this really sucks. This is really hard. I'm really struggling through this. I also have to allow myself to have crying fits. It's okay. I know I'm a 56-year-old guy. I'm not supposed to cry, but it becomes overwhelming. How do I allow myself to feel the feelings I'm going to have? The only way to get to the other side is by going through it. And people have to allow themselves to feel. They're going to feel fear. They're going to feel anger. They're going to feel sadness. And that's okay.